Hey, now it's Sunday night, October 8th. Trying to put out these autograph analysis videos once a week. And I usually shoot them on Saturday, but it's Sunday night and I want to get one out. So we are at Clark Griffith. Clark Griffith, I hope I'm saying his name right. Clark was a baseball man, like a true baseball man. He's the only player in Major League history to pitch 20 years, manage 20 years, and own a team for 20 years. So you do that, guess what you get? You get a ticket to the Hall of Fame. He's a pretty good pitcher, believe it or not. People probably don't think of him as a pitcher, but yeah, he won over 200 games as a pitcher. He was a pretty dominant pitcher in his time. Granted, this is 19th century, so we're talking a while ago. He did pitch into the 20th century. From there, he was the first manager of the New York Highlanders, now known as the New York Yankees, and probably where he's most the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, everyone probably knows him best. At least I know him best as the owner of the Washington Senators for such a long time. I think the family owned the Senators for like 60 some years after that, like his adopted son Calvin took over. But he was a key figure in the starting of the American League. And I had to read about this. I really didn't know too much about him. So when Ban Johnson started the American League, Clark was very tied into politics and into players. And he convinced like everyone he knew that he wanted to get over to the American League. And they were very worried at the time that like this league wouldn't start. And even though Ban Johnson really gets the credit for starting the American League, a lot of people, a lot of executives say it never would have been possible if not for Clark Griffith. As a matter of fact, I read an article that says Clark Griffith's got everyone he wanted into the American League for the National League, with the exception of Honus Wagner. So that's pretty good. So you look at the American League and all the great players that started with them. So eventually in like around 1938, 1939, he started to gain momentum to get into the Hall of Fame. But he originally started out getting momentum as a pitcher, and he got less than 1% of the vote. But then there was a writing campaign, and eventually in 1946, he did get into the Hall of Fame through one of the very first Veterans Committees. And he was not at the ceremony, but he lived another 9 years. So the plaque postcards came out. The old ones, the black and white ones, and they are out there. We're going to get to those in a few minutes here. But again, since he was so prominent in baseball and being an owner of a major baseball team, the Washington Senators at the time, his autograph is not that rare. So we're going to go and we're going to look at the autograph analysis of Clark Griffith. So hold on here. So I wanted to start this, and we're going to go from like early to late. Clark Griffith started off with a really nice signature. This is like a 1913 autograph when he was still managing clubs. And you can see right here, the C looped all the way here, and it connected all the way. There's a break between the L and the A, and there's always been a break between the G and the R. But it's a fairly uniform signature. But don't get too comfortable with this signature. Something happened and I don't know what, and we're going to see as we move forward in time. You can see his autograph got more and more unsteady. And so first of all, again, I can't get rid of this right here, so I can't see what year this was signed. But again, I think this is still the early teens. He signed with the middle initial. That's going to go away very soon. You're still looking for a two-stroke K right here, as you can see. The C now is no longer connected to the L, which is going to be the more common signatures. And you're starting to see a little bit of shakiness. Now, what's interesting about Clark Griffith when I look for autographs of his is usually I'm not looking for the C in the middle. That's going to go away soon. But you're going to see he's kind of last name. He signed it sort of like up and to the right a little bit with a little bit like hesitation, and it's going to start to bounce. It becomes a lot of so this is 1927, and already you can see some, again, it's because there's a line right here, it's probably a little bit better, but again, the C no longer comes out back here. The C starts more in, it loops around. You're still looking for a two-stroke K. Now you're looking for breaks between the C and the L. When I see a break, I mean, obviously these touch, but you can see the C, the pen comes off the autograph right here, and it starts again. It goes into the O when I say a two-stroke. Same thing with the G right here. Again, it's still uniform. We're going to move on. It's just tough to see right here. Now, again, you can see AL pitching champion. Like I said, he was a good pitcher. This is from 1940s. You can see here now already, again, still a two-stroke K. C's not connected to the L. The G's not connected to the R. The G's going to start to extend a little bit like Lefty Grove, which we'll probably get into soon enough. with the signatures, and it's starting to bounce a lot. The arch, you can see it's not a very consistent sign on a straight line plane. Again, you can see right here, the Clark and the Griffith start to go a little bit up and to the right, and that's where you're going to see a common right here. Now we're in 1942. Keep in mind, he's not in a Hall of Fame yet. I think this is a good signature. And you're going to see where his autograph gets really odd now, because you can see his autographs all over the place. It looks like infamy's in, like he can't sign straight, so on and so forth. So this is a good 1942. Again, all over, very bad. And then again, we're into 1942 as well. His autograph got a little, like, not as shaky, but again, it's still a little shaky. This is a nice check. The checks are fairly rare. Again, break between the C and the L, the L and the A. It's still a two-stroke K, as you can see. The G goes out, and even though there's a line at the bottom, it goes up and to the right. It does come back down to hit the line at the end. So again, this is typically what I'm looking for a Clark Griffith autograph. And again, though, but there's not a lot of shakiness in this one, and I'm pretty sure this is signed in mid-40s as well. Again, a break between the C. It's kind of weird that the C sort of breaks up there, and the L and the A, two-stroke K. The G comes up like the big loop, comes out. Again, that's what your break between the R, and it goes into an upper right corner. Not upper right corner, up and to the right. Again, now we're at 1944. And again, look at that 1941 that was really shaky. And now we're back here in 1944, a couple years later, and it's not such a bad autograph again. It's just Clark Griffith's autograph is one of the more unusual autographs to me. Because of this, it's very easy to forge. There's a lot of shaky signatures out there. Again, we're going to get to this in a little bit. But again, breaking the C, breaking the L, two-stroke K, high G right there, comes back down to the side, breaking the G. Again, this is a pretty nice autograph for Clark Griffith. And there's plenty of letters out there. Again, this is 1946. And again, it's bad. It's not horrible. He's in his mid to late 70s at this point. He got in the Hall of Fame, probably 1946. I don't know when he was inducted. Like I said, he was not at his induction ceremony. So you shouldn't be looking for a Hall of Fame ball sign at a ceremony with other Hall of Famers on it. You're probably not going to see that. But again, right here, again, this is like, again, now you're getting shaky. The F's are coming in right here. He can't come all the way across. Again, it's still the breaks. The C's going through. The break, it's falling down. It's still, you can see the upper right, but again, it's bouncing all over the place. It's got to be careful. It's like a couple $100 signature. We'll show later. Again, now you can tell his infamy is really taking into Clark Griffith's autograph. The F's, you can sort of see bend in like that. That's kind of a common thing with him. Again, there's still the break. I mean, the consistencies, the standalone L, the two-stroke K, the one-stroke G, you still want to see. That never goes away. Now, here we are, 1939. We're going backwards in time, probably. Can't see that one. Again, here's a government postcard. And again, he was a baseball man. So government postcards, there's, I don't say a lot out there, but there are quite a few out there. $200, $300. It's a good way to get his autograph. Breaking the C. You can see now the L's kind of touches. But again, his autograph now is all over the place. I mean, that's the problem with these. I mean, it was great that he was a good signer and everything. The problem is the fact that, like, he was just, it's just like all over the place. I would be very careful buying like premium items, like single sign baseballs. Sigberg, this is again a very famous. Okay, now we're talking 1950 here. We're talking the last 6 years of his life. Again, you can see the C coming through right there. L now attaches to the A. It's not a standalone. The G is still the highest point on his autograph. The F, you see that sort of folds in right there and right there. That's still what you want to see. I mean, you could, but again, he was a good signer. He was a company man. So I'm trying. Okay, now we're talking earlier autographs. I don't even want to get to these, really, to be honest, because of the fact that I mean, it's not what you're going to be used to seeing. It's not what you're buying. Again, you're more likely to see these autographs right here. Believe it or not, this is a different autograph that we saw earlier to the same person around the same day. He sent out multiples. So we're getting to the end now. Again, this is like odd to me, this ball. I am not a fan of this ball, only because it's so clean. In 1950, we know he was shaking a lot. We've seen the other ones. This is like a really clean baseball. I know it's on PSA's database. It's just, personally, I'm not a fan. It's too nice. And again, I mean, Ron talks about it. A lot of fake postcards in there. A lot of fake single-sign baseballs have been signed and got through. So, again, you get the drift right here. Again, this is like just any single-sign baseball. I feel more comfortable with this one than the other one before. But, again, I don't know much about it. Again, he's not a tough autograph to forge. So you just have to be careful out there. So that's enough with the database. Again, we're going into Heritage. Again, nothing terribly sold. His autograph postcards have increased in price tremendously. Again, people are going out there trying to get the single sign postcard. So we know this was signed post 1946. When, I don't know. If you zoom in right here, we can zoom in. So you can see this sold for several $1,000s. We'll get to another one real quickly. These have gotten really expensive. And it's kind of weird. I can't zoom in more, but you'll see some Clark autographs are signed like up here and other ones are down here. I am personally not a fan of the ones around here. I'm not saying they're wrong, but it's just kind of a weird spot, like this one right here. Again, this is more what I would assume you would see is something like signed down here. This is where most players signed it. I could be wrong. I don't know. Like, I don't like this autograph either because I don't like how, again, this is the late 40s. By then, the Fs are coming down. This is pretty neat for Clark Griffith. It doesn't have the upward slant. I mean, I think I could do this C with enough tries. I mean, I'm just not a fan of these Clark Griffith's autograph. This is my autograph that I own. It's just a standard letter. I think I paid $100 and some for it a while back. Is it the prettiest? No, I just like the fact that it was on letterhead. Again, I had this typical stuff I want to see. The S are sort of in. I mean, it's tough to tell. This was not a good picture, obviously, but it goes up and to the right, but not terribly as you would expect to see. But again, it's a typical signature that you're going to see of him. Again, going on eBay, and I just looked real quickly, there's 20 autographs at eBay right now. All of them, I think, are good. You can see right here that Griffith goes up. This is a government postcard. You can see what the buyer is wanting or best offer. Another government postcard. Another letter. You can see it's going down. I like this letter. It's a little unusual, but again, I like it. This is, again, another letter. So if you need a Clark Griffith autograph, they're available on eBay. Like I said, I think they're all good. Go ahead, make an offer. Who knows what they're going to say? I thought this was interesting right here. This sold recently for $5,600. Again, this is another one of those. Again, that's authenticated fairly recently, which is, again, odd to me that it took this long. But again, it's signed across, up and down. The Fs go in. So I guess not too bad. I guess I think this one's good. If I had to take a guess of good or not good, I would say it's good. But this was an interesting one. I just wanted to pull this out. This sold on Golden not too long ago. It's in a really old JSA encapsulation. They don't even encapsulate anymore. I don't know I don't think this is good for various reasons, but the reason that sticks out to me, to be honest, is what's this E at the end? Did like someone forget how to spell his name? So, I mean, I've seen with little dots before, but the fact that he did it twice, I'm just not a fan. So again, that's it with Clark Griffith. I mean, if you're collecting all the Hall of Famers, he's probably in your collection already. Not a rare autograph. There are a few single sign baseballs out there, according to Ron. I would never buy one of his. I mean, I just don't like it at all. Even with not government postcards, to the Hall of Fame postcards. Be so careful. Really do your research. Other than that, not hard. Speaking of not hard, we're going to go from him to Burley Grimes next. So hope everyone has a great week. The Burley Grimes probably will drop in a little more than a week from now. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like bar. Keep collecting.